Welcome back to Appetite for Life. This is episode 27, and after pressing the reset button, you finally achieved freedom. Freedom ain't just a word. Let's talk about freedom in this episode. Well, I was just a boy. I wanted to listen to Guns N' Roses and do whatever I felt like. I was 12 years old and life was in front of me. Somewhere along the way, I was a bad boy, prejudiced and categorized. The lightness of my childhood was lost, and I tried to find my true self. And wherever my search took me, whatever difficulties I got into, I never stopped believing in my freedom. Life forces you into a niche, into a corner. It tries to put its stamp on you. What is right, what is wrong, what to say, what not to say, what to think and who to be. And all I ever wanted to do was fly, paint my feelings in the sky and fall freely away from this earth. I never accepted the either or. For me there was always only the end. And this and that and this and that. I wanted to have everything and achieve everything and never back down. I defied life and didn't want to accept that life is the way it is. I did not allow my soul to die and someday I would turn to dust. No, this is not an option. Out of the darkness, that sounds easier than it is. Out of the dark and into the light. Once you have gone through the gate, there is no turning back. The way is the path, and as hard as it is sometimes, the king is dead, long live the king. I am the king of my life. I create the rules that apply to me, and when I learned that I will not find the reasons for my suffering and pain in other people, I was suddenly in front of me. There was liberty. There was freedom. Finally, my friend, there is freedom. So many people confuse freedom with being free. People thought I was crazy because I always talked about being free, and in truth I pulled my chains tighter and tighter. And being free doesn't mean doing what you want, going where you want, sleeping with who you want, living with who you want. No, this is not the meaning of being free. To be free means to allow yourself the freedom to break your chains and thus free yourself from the oppressive feeling. This oppressive feeling is experienced by every human being on planet Earth, sooner or later. This feeling of being in a prison. For me, the prison was planet Earth. I thought I had to achieve true greatness in order to get my exit ticket someday. Well, I never wanted to incarnate again on this emotional playground and indulge in all this insanity again. I was searching for answers, browsing through my previous incarnations, and found nothing but worthless information. Worthless because what do I really care? What I did to whom and when? Who cares? The history books? The Bible? Maybe. But today, that has no impact. It's all about living in this moment, here and now, today. And in the end, my friend, I realized that freedom is not something you have to achieve in order to feel it. Freedom is a state in which one simply exists. I've walked thousands of miles around countless corners, those extra miles everyone is talking about. That's how I spent the years, owning my career, looking for recognition. Instead, I found many brothers and sisters who knew how hard the winds of life could blow. But in the end, I don't blame anyone because my path was predetermined. Not to get any recognition ever. It was always there, and I just couldn't see it because I preferred to get caught up in drama, indulging in self-pity, instead of being who I really am. And today, I see greed. I see self-destruction everywhere. I see how people allow themselves to be commanded and controlled. I will not be commanded, and I will not be controlled. I exist, so I am. I am that I am. I am free. I look down into other people's prisons, see their self-imposed consequences, their lack of awareness to finally take responsibility for their lives. I see their fear of going into the state of being free, because there are so many because and whys against being who or she really is. I am at home. Lost on the planet of mankind? Well, no. One life, one love. That is what it is all about. About this one special, precious life, about the love it can be filled with in a simple but great state of being. This is freedom.